my friends, today I am telling you about the secret sauce to make your curls last and last. So if you're a bridal stylist, if you're working on brides, you want to make sure you have curls that last a long time, especially if they're wearing their hair down, especially if they have resistant hair. So let us get started. I, first of all, like to make sure I always have nice clean sectioning. So that's the first thing. Don't make yourself messy by having the hair all around. Section out the front, section out the back. Have a nice clean section that you're going to work with, okay? In some of my other videos, I talk about how much hair to take and how to properly section, so you can go back and take a look at those if you want to. But today we're going to just talk about some of my secret tricks for longevity. So, first things first. My favorite brush to use as I'm working on curls is this 3-row brush. So, it is a comb, has 3 rows, and it just combs out the hair really nicely. So I'm going to start with my first section, and I'm going to comb through. And the trick to really making curls last a long, long time is to go section by section, work really carefully, and work with intention, okay? So I'm going to hairspray with the flexible hold hairspray. Now my very favorite is Bedhead Masterpiece. It used to be more of a fancier brand, and now you can pretty much get it anywhere, but I just love it. It smells good, and it holds the hair really beautifully and doesn't make it crunchy. So after I hairspray, I comb through. That's really important. If you do not comb through, you know what's going to happen? You're going to get a crunchy, crunchy curl. We don't want that. So you're going to comb through first to disperse that hairspray in there and give it a good solid base. And today I'm going to be using a 3/4 inch curling iron, a little bit smaller, so you can see what some other texture looks like instead of my normal like 1.5 inches. And I'm going to wrap the hair around the curling iron. So I'm going to hold it upside down and wrap the hair evenly around this curling iron. And I am just going to hold it here for a few seconds. And so by holding it, I'm letting the hair all heat up. By raising it up here close to the scalp, I am letting the hair be evenly distributed on the curling iron. And I'm just going to slide the hair out like so. Give it a chance to cool down a little bit. So when I let go, we got some really wingy curls going on. So obviously by using different size curling irons and holding the curls in different ways, you're going to get different looks for each curl that you do. So those are for other videos. That's other techniques on how to hold different curling irons, what sizes to use and why. But today I'm just talking about the longevity technique. You can use this technique with any kind of curling iron, any kind of style that you're doing. So again, I combed it, I sprayed it, comb it again. And now we're going to go through and do the same thing. So instead of, I'm not holding it down here and wrapping, I'm starting at the very top and wrapping it all the way around. So I get a nice even curl all the way. And I hold it just to let the hair really heat up. So if you do this, say you're working on your bride, and you start doing this, and you let go of the curl, and it just totally falls. What I want you to do is hold it again, but longer the next time. So you really want to hold hair that's hard, resistant to curl, longer. Let it heat up even longer. And you might even want to go through and use a little bit more hairspray. So by kind of playing with this bottom row of hair here, you can experiment and see how well the hair holds curl. So if you go through and you hold it and you do this technique and you go to let it go and it just falls out, you're going to be like, okay, I need to rethink this. So you might need to hold it longer. You might need to even do it in a pin curl set. So that would be holding it like this and hurt myself, friends. The pin curl set is by grabbing the hair like this and pinning it up and letting it hold. So by doing that, you're going to really let that curl set. That's for really resistant hair. But overall, the longer that you hold it, the tighter the curl you're going to get and the more holding power you're going to have. So I'm going to do these last 2 sections here and then tell you the next step that I would do for really long lasting curls. Combing through, using my hairspray, and again, be generous with the hairspray. Now the other trick that I have is, say this is your trial run and you go through and you do this technique on your bride and you find that it's starting to really fall flat as you're working through it. You can have her make sure she washes and blow dries her hair the day of her wedding. The wash and the blow dry is really going to help prep that hair, especially if you use a little bit of like a mousse or a holding product in it before you blow dry. Prep the hair even more to be ready for your curls. So that's another trick. Now let's say she's done that and her curls are still falling. There is some hair that is really resistant to holding curls. And so you have two options. One is if she's really, really set on having her hair down and having the curls, I would recommend getting some extensions. And the extensions can kind of help anchor the curls that she already has. So if you curl her hair with the extensions, the hair that she already has can kind of stick to the extensions. I heard somebody describe it once, another hairstylist, as like the scaffolding for the other hair, and that will help it hold. She's still not going to get a super tight curl, and it might not be super, super long lasting, but if she's really set in it, that's a good technique to use. And the other thing to do is if it's not holding up, I recommend doing either a half up, half down, so that even if the back kind of falls and she has more of a wave, at least she still has something pinned up and it still looks nice and pulled together. Or just recommend having her wear her hair all up or in something that's kind of like boho and brought together more, so she's got some pins in there to really hold in the shape of the curls that she wants. Okay, so now we have these like Shirley Temple style ringlets, and what I'm going to do is use texture spray on top of the hairspray. So I am using today Schwarzkopf dry texture spray. I also really like Kenra's, but you're just going to hold the curl and spray pretty generously. And the combination of your flexible hairspray plus the texture spray is going to give you a lot of really, really great hold. And the other thing that it does is it helps to keep it from getting frizzy as you're pulling out these curls. Because obviously I'm not going to keep these curls like this, right? That's not like super cute. Today I'm going to comb them out. So I'm going to go back through to my 3-prong comb, and I'm going to start at the bottom. And the reason I'm starting at the bottom is because this hair is super damaged, and I just want to kind of see how it's going to come out before I pull through the whole thing. So I'm combing through underneath and then just kind of letting it come back up. So I'm going to go through and do each individual curl first. Comb through, and that texture spray is going to help it from getting frizzy. Now her hair, like I said, we're working with a very color treated mannequin here, and so she's going to have a little bit more of that frizz than somebody else because we have so much bleach in here. If you're working with a bride who has hair like this, I always recommend a nice healthy trim. All right, and now that I've combed through once, I'm going to come through with my comb and do the whole thing. You can see that it's kind of retaining its shape, so this is kind of a brushed out curl look, obviously. And because we use that double hairspray and the texture spray on top, it's really going to hold together nicely. I'll show you how it looks from the back. It's really retaining its shape really nice. So now I don't have a lot of bend up here, but that's what this next row is going to be. So you can see that I have the shape of the brushed out curl on the bottom, and once I pull down the next layer and I get a curl going up in here, it's going to create that kind of next ridge. So I'm going to go through and do some of that and then pop back in her so you can see how it looks and see how it starts to come together as I do more. Okay, let me just show you the difference if I don't use hairspray. So if I take this, comb it out, do the same technique I've been doing in all these curls by wrapping, holding, releasing. It's still curly. You can see that it's curly, right? But it's just not as tight and lifted as these. And when I comb through it, it doesn't have the same amount of bend in it. It gets a lot looser than these ones will. So just adding that little bit of hairspray in the beginning is going to really give you a lot more longevity than you would have if you didn't add hairspray section by section as you go. I know it's tedious and it takes longer, but it really does work. So I've done another row, and this is my next row. I'm going to do brushing through. Like I said before, if you have some really damaged ends, you're going to want to work through those by getting a trim before the big day. So I created a new row of waves because of bringing up the curl higher. So as you work your way up, you can see a new row shows up every time. And so the important thing is when you're creating these brushed out curls is to really make sure that you stay consistent with your curls all around. So if you want like super, super, super perfect, like those are really, really defined ones, then you have to be very, very even with each of your sections. I was even enough, but not even enough to make it look perfect, but you can still see how you get that really pretty, nice brushed out curl look. And this really will last. So after I finish each section, I go through with some texture spray again, and just kind of make sure all the flyaways are down. And then if I love how it looks and it's looking exactly how I was envisioning, then I will finish with my hairspray. So I can step back and just kind of do a light fold over and use my hands. You can also use a smoothing cream in your fingers to kind of run through the hair to kind of get it smoothed out. But overall, this is a nice brushed out curl that's going to last you a long time. Even as I pull through with my fingers and separate it, you can see that it's bouncing back up. And if I did this in the whole head, you're going to get some great texture. It's kind of a modern look on a Hollywood wave. It's not super defined, but still gives you that look. So just to repeat, you're going to want to brush through section by section, use your flexible hairspray, follow up with your texture spray, and then really try not to touch it after you're done. And make sure you hold that curling iron in a long time to let that heat really go. And if you need to, pin each curl as you work, and then take them out row by row as you work your way up the head. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe if you want more, and that's all I have for you today.